Alright, so what I'd like to do is I'd just like to talk about navigating Canvas and the main buttons inside Canvas. I'm just going to give a brief overview as to what all these buttons do, and I'll go into more detail about how to use each section a little later. But for now, let's go ahead and start with these buttons in this blue panel to the left of your screen. The first one is going to be your dashboard, and your dashboard is really where everything is housed for your courses. So you've got your published courses, your unpublished courses, those are all going to be here. Next, you have the courses button, and the courses button is pretty much just a shortened list of the dashboard, so you can easily see what your classes are. You can also see, once again, if they've been published or not. Next is going to be your calendar, and the calendar is really great because I can see everything that'll be due or that is going on in all of my classes, or I can limit it to just one of my classes depending on what I'd like to view. The students also have access to this, so they can easily see when their projects are due or what their assignments will be for the next week. After that, we've got the inbox button, and this is pretty self-explanatory. This is just a messaging place where you can send messages to students, the students can send messages to you, and if you need to communicate, you can do it this way. Next is going to be the Commons, and the Commons is, I think, one of the coolest parts of Canvas. The Commons is a place where teachers can publish any of their lessons, their courses, or assignments, and other teachers can go in and download that content to their own course. So let's say, for example, I was looking for a lesson in biology. I can type that in on the search bar, and I can look up any type of materials that the biology teachers have submitted to Canvas. And this is a nationwide program, so you will find things from other states or other areas, and you can utilize this in your own classroom. The next button we're going to talk about is the Help button. So if there's anything that I don't cover, or maybe you'd like to get some more information on, you're welcome to press this button here, and you can get any type of resources, answers, that kind of stuff. If there is an issue with Canvas, you would go here to report the problem, and then it would get sent to their technical support and then hopefully get solved. Now what I'd like to do is take you into one of my courses so that I can show you the navigation panel, and that'll give you a better insight as to what Canvas can do. So let's go ahead and go here. And this right now is a course that I haven't even really done much work to, so it's very bare at the moment, but that's okay because all we're going to focus on is these buttons on the side here. So the first button is going to be your home button, and your home button is where the students and yourself are going to be taken to as soon as you enter your course. Now a little later I can show you how to change wherever your home screen is, but for now we're just going to talk about the basics. So that's what the home screen can do. Next is going to be your announcements, and this is just a place where you can just make shout outs or give any information to students. After that, we've got the assignments button, and this is where you're going to create any assignments, from projects to smaller worksheets, that kind of stuff. That goes here. Next is your discussions, and this is probably one of my favorite features in Canvas. I can pose a question to the students and then they can answer it with their response. I can allow other students to see those responses and then start a conversation back and forth about the topic. Then we have grades. I keep my grades in a separate grade book, so I only use this to transfer the grades over most of the time, but it is here in Canvas in case you need it. After that, we have people, and people is just really a tab to where you can see who's enrolled into your course. So at the moment, I really don't have anyone in here, just myself, so that's pretty much all we can see right now. And then we're going to go to pages. And pages is really neat. It's basically just a place where I can have any information, almost like a blog post. And I'll show you what you can do with these a little later too. After that, we have our files. And the files is not really something that I use because if you look at the storage space, it's really not that much. So I'll normally just link this to one of my assignments in my OneDrive, but if I have to, this is where you would put them in Canvas. Next is going to be your syllabus. Now, this is not the kind of syllabus that I use. The syllabus I use, I just type up on my own. This is a syllabus that will give you a summary of all of the either events or assignments or discussions. Anything that's really been posted to this course will end up in the course syllabus. This is mostly, I believe, probably for college students so that they can have a overhead view of what they'll be doing. And after that, we're going to get into outcomes. I am going to admit that I don't really use outcomes, so I don't have the best understanding of it, but basically what I know is it's a place where you can set goals or objectives for the students, and it'll measure how well they've mastered that goal or objective. You're welcome to get more information about this if you go over to the help section here. They have these pre-made questions, and you can just kind of look at those, and that'll give you a better idea of how you can use this for your own course. Now let's move on to the rubrics. This is where you would upload or create a rubric that would go with an assignment or a project. I create these on my own, so I don't really utilize this tab very much, but if you'd like to create it in Canvas, you're welcome to. Like I've said before, the information to how to do that is on the side. Since I don't use it, I don't really know too much about it. Alright, so let's move on to quizzes. Quizzes is a place where you can add any type of test, quiz, or survey, and the students can take the test. It can be timed, and you can get answers in real time as well. Then you have the modules, and you'll probably hear me say this a lot, but the modules is kind of like the heart of your course. This is where you will keep everything that you make, whether it be an assignment or discussions or files, anything gets put here, and it allows the student to easily go through the module and complete the course that was outlined for that either day or that week. Now we have conferences, and this is Canvas's version of Zoom. They use a company called Blue Button to do these conferences. I've used them a little bit, but I would prefer Zoom over their version of conferences, but that's just my opinion. Next is going to be collaborations, and collaborations is just a place where you can group the students and have them go onto like a document and work together on that document. I don't use this one as much either because I have a lot of individual work in my class, but it is here in Canvas. Next is the class notebook, and the class notebook is tied to OneNote. So if you use OneNote in your course, you can link that directly into Canvas so the students don't have to go to their Office 360 account to get there. Next is the Office 365, and just like with your class notebook, this will link the students to their Office 365 account so they can access their files through there, like on OneDrive. And then we'll move on to Nearpod. Nearpod is a really cool software where you can create interactive PowerPoints. So the students can make responses to maybe a slide that you have. They can have like real-time discussions posted on there. You can have little vocabulary assignments, and all of this can be done while you are giving the presentation. So it's very interactive, and it might be a way to merge the in-class students with the online students because it'll give them a chance to be together in one place. So definitely looking at doing this year in my own class, and if you'd like some more information on that, I'm going to make a separate video. Next few tabs here I actually don't really use because they don't really pertain to my own class, but they are here, so if you'd like to use them and you think they would fit your class, you're welcome to. I don't feel comfortable talking about what they do because I don't know. The only one I will talk about is Zoom, virtual meeting tool that we can use for our students. But what's a little different about Zoom in Canvas is that I can link my Canvas Zoom together. So I can have Zoom in Canvas, so when the students select Zoom, they can see the meeting and it'll take them directly to the Zoom program, or they can watch the Zoom meeting in their browser. So it's a really great tool to have in Canvas because then you don't have to worry about the students not knowing the meeting ID or not knowing what the password is and that kind of stuff. They still will need to type in the password, but it's just a little easier to get to than having to go through the website or your email or anything like that. I can also schedule my Zoom meetings on here, so if I am a middle school teacher and I teach different sections or periods, I can have them all scheduled on here so it's easy to access. This other one here is probably not going to be on your screen. That class mailroom I created myself. I can go into more detail as to how I made that, but don't worry about it for now. We're going to go ahead and move on to settings, and in settings is pretty much where you can create and customize your course however you like. You can move around the navigation, you can do all of that stuff. I will make a separate video talking about the ins and outs of your settings, but this is just an overview of this area of Canvas. Alright, well that pretty much sums it up. So this is how you would navigate through Canvas, and these are the main buttons in Canvas that you're going to be utilizing for your own courses. So if you enjoyed this, continue on the video series. The next video is going to be talking about how to create your course. You can either do it from scratch, or you can use an existing course that either your school or your district has offered you. So if that is something you'd like to learn more about, go ahead and press the next video, and we'll get started with that.